Hello beauties, and welcome back to the Bumpy Bones Locksport channel. So in this video I have a awesome lock here that we're going to pick open and gut. So I've got an Anchor Loss 510-1 switch lock that has an ABUS Vitess 1000 on it. Now I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's V-I-T-E-S-S, but this is definitely going to be one of my favorite locks in my collection. And what's really cool about this is the switch lock here will accept pretty much any standard Scandinavian oval in it. So I can take some of my others that are in my collection and put this on this lock here, and it's just a really cool lock. So the ABUS Vitess 1000 has two different levels on the Lockpickers United belt system. There's a green belt level that is a 5-pin lock, and then a blue belt level that is a 6-pin lock, and this is the 6-pin version here. And it's got some pretty cool security pins in it. It's got two kind of T-style anti-bump pins in it. It's got two spool pins and then two regular pins, and then the front key pin is kind of funky and all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick this open and gut it. Now the other thing about this lock is the keyway. So it is a pretty funky keyway. It's not terribly paracentric in terms of, you know, it does have a pretty straight shot internally and all that. You do have to go a little bit of an angle because it does curve a bit, but the warding in it is a bit crazy. In fact, if we go ahead and do a close-up here, you can notice, especially at the top of the keyway. So if I go to use like a standard tensioner at the top here, it's not going to fit. And this I think is my 80 thousandths. Nope, that's the 1 millimeter. Where's my 0.8 millimeter? Here's a 0.8 millimeter. And you'll notice that it doesn't fit in the top there. So tensioning, doing top of the keyway tension on this lock is problematic. I've got a special tensioner that I made. I did a little nook at the, or hook at the tip of this one, and it's a very thin tensioner. And it does fit in there and allows me to tension off the top of the keyway. But the problem is it's very loose, and you can see it kind of goes all over the place. So for this lock, what I like to use is bottom of the keyway tensioner with the 2-in-1 precision turner from the Reaper set from Covert Instruments. And this is the 40 thousandths here. And you'll notice that this fits in the bottom of the keyway really nicely. It's a really good tensioner. This is one of my favorite tensioners to use when it comes to kind of crazy keyways, because just this low profile, the design on it really allows me to use this in a lot of keyways that I have a hard time doing top of the keyway tensioning with. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what it takes to pick this open. I'm also going to be using my hook number 1 from my Low Lock Tool Valyrian Euro set with a 3D printed handle on it. And let me go ahead and go over to our other mic so that we get some clickies and see what it takes to get this guy open. Alright, so I'm actually going to start at the back of this here, because I know 5 and 6 are the first ones that bind. So I'm going to go with 5. Alright, got a nice click on 5. Let's go with 6. Nice click on 6. Alright, let's go to the front. There's 1. Little click on 1. 2, really nothing. That's it, 3. Alright, nice false set. So I think 2 is our next. Alright, we're back in a false set. I might hit 5 and 6. having a hard time hitting number 6. All right, there we go. And we are open. All right, so this really fun lock with getting it open. That was actually one of the quicker times for me. It either goes really nicely like that, or it's a really big challenge. So now, disassembling this lock is really fun. And so what we have to do first is we gotta take off the switch lock here, which we remove this cover here to expose our screws. But you'll notice that there's a ball bearing in one here that's kind of stuck in there. Well, there's a grub screw in here that's holding that ball bearing in place. So what we need to do is angle our shackle here so that we can get our 2mm Allen wrench down to that grub screw, and that we can go through and just unscrew that. So now we can go ahead and remove that ball bearing. All right, so now we see our screws in here, so we can go ahead and remove these retention screws. And this will free up our Scandinavian oval core. All right. I think that did it. Yep, awesome. So now we have our core here. And so we can go ahead and remove our retaining cap here. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to lock it back up. In which actually before I do that, I do usually do that before I pick it open, but I completely forgot to do that. So let's go ahead and remove our retention cap here. All right. And let me get our pinning mat here. Go ahead and throw our picks over here. Let me grab a shim. And let's grab a follower here. I think this follower will be good. Yeah. All right. And let's go ahead and unlock it with a key. Go ahead and insert our shim. And let's go ahead and push out the core. All right, so let's go ahead and do our key pins first. So there's pin 1, pin 3. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh yeah, it's a 6 pin, so we can use this. Pin 4, pin 5. All right, so there's pin 2 and pin 6. All right, so there are our pins, and there's really nothing else that's really special. It's actually another pin, it looks like, off to the side here. Let me see if I can get that out. Yep, there we go, that came out. That looks like it just, I don't know if that really has any function other than interacting with a key and maybe holding the key in place a little bit. So we're going to throw that guy up there. All right, let's go ahead and remove our pins. So pin 1 is just a standard security pin. Pin 2 is a spool pin. Pin 3 is a standard pin. Pin 4 will be another spool pin. And then pins 5 and 6 should be RT pins. Yep, so there's a T pin. And then there's a T pin. All right. And when I'm looking at the body inside the core here, I'm not seeing anything that would be interacting with this side little pin here. So it doesn't really have any functionality to the actual locking mechanism other than probably holding the key in place and all that. So, all right, let's go ahead and remove the springs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at our pins here. So you can see, let me get my light up here a little bit so that it's a little bit better. You know, pin 1 definitely is a little bit funky. You know, you got the spool really low there. It doesn't really interact when you're locking it, but if you really overset that, you'll definitely hit that. Then we have some nice spool pins, and then we have those really nice T anti-bump pins that are at the end there. And those definitely, you know, cause a lot of fun, especially when it gives you a lot of difficulty and all that. So, you know, this is a pretty fun lock. I highly do recommend, you know, the ABUS Vitess 1000. You know, for picking, it's a good challenge. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. As always, do feel free to like and comment on my videos and subscribe to my channel. And I hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I will see you all later.